Good morning, everybody. 4 children, that's why I have grey hair. It's a privilege to be speaking to you all today, and thank you for the very kind introduction. My topic this morning is change and competition in Asia's financial markets, and I want to share you some perspectives from the viewpoint of a banker. I'm not a policy maker, central banker, economist. I'm just a plain old banker. Over the last few months, it's been a very interesting time to be a banker operating in international financial markets. Usually, August is one of the quietest times of the year in global financial markets. But this year, many bankers' summer holidays were rather disturbed by the eruption of extraordinary turbulence in the credit and fixed income markets, as the US subprime crisis flowed into the broader credit markets and into the interbank markets. And although much of the media and certainly the equity markets seem to think the worst is over, I personally think that's a bit of a premature call. I think there's still a lot of pain out there, hidden in the balance sheets of banks and brokerages and insurance companies. It's very unevenly distributed. Some, like us, are relatively unscathed. Others have been quite hard hit. And I think there's much more volatility to come. I also think it's dangerous to assume that Asia's financial markets will be immune to the turbulence in London and New York. While so far the impact has been limited, the sheer scale and violence of the forces affecting global financial markets should not be underestimated. However, the way Asia gets affected may be unexpected or counterintuitive. A defining characteristic of financial crises is that they evolve in quite surprising ways. For example, the events in India over the last fortnight. Last week, the stock market surged. Yesterday, it plunged and then bounced up again. A lot of what's going on there is actually a consequence of the disturbances in the financial markets of the West. What's happening is that international money managers are rebalancing their portfolios away from Western securities, in particular fixed income and credit markets, and are trying to put more money into Asian equity markets. And although the flows into India are quite small from an international perspective, they're enough to create quite a disturbance in the Sensex, the Indian stock market index, which has given the authorities in India quite a headache in terms of how to manage against an asset bubble and the upward pressure on the rupee. Now, it may seem rather odd or perverse that troubles in Western credit markets should end up propelling Asian stock markets to new heights, but I think that's a very good illustration of the way that financial disturbances can move in quite unexpected ways. It's a good tangible example of how the ripples from what's going on in the Western financial markets can affect Asia. But there's a deeper story here as well. To my mind, what's going on in global financial markets reflects a more fundamental change. To put it bluntly, economic power is shifting from the West to the East. And while the shift in the real economy happens relatively gradually through trade, investment, acquisitions, and so on, financial markets, by their nature, anticipate the end game. They jump to conclusions in a volatile, discontinuous way. For a banker based in London, but with a business focused on Asia, it's a fascinating time. The polarization between West and Asia in terms of economic outlook liquidity, asset prices is simply extraordinary. Yet I have to say that to be really successful, to be truly successful in turning these aspirations into reality, I think more radical action will be required. At Standard Chartered, we are deeply committed to Korea and the development of Seoul as a financial center. With the acquisition of Korea First Bank, now SC First Bank, we made the largest ever foreign investment in the Korean financial services industry. And it's by far the biggest acquisition that Standard Chartered has ever made. So I have personally a lot at stake in ensuring Korea's financial markets grow and develop, and that the aspirations to make Seoul into a leading financial center succeed. So, we are more than happy to play our role in making this happen. Thank you all very much.